Resuming debate, reprise de débat, the honourable member for Kitchener Centre.
Mr. Speaker, 9 years of this Liberal government has turned Canada into a country where mothers kiss their children goodbye in the morning and pray they come home at night. Last month, Savannah Cullah, a 29-year-old mother of 4, was shot dead in broad daylight in a Brampton strip mall. Her killer? A man already charged with firearms offences and intimate partner violence. A man the Liberal justice system let walk free on bail. This summer, Bailey McCourt stood in a courtroom and begged a judge to keep her violent ex-husband behind bars. He had already choked her unconscious. The judge released him anyway on $500 bail. Hours later, James Plover hunted her down and murdered her. Bailey's last words to the court were, "He will kill me." The Liberal system said, "Let's take a chance." 2 women, 2 killers who never should have been on our streets.
That's right.
That is the human cost of this Liberal catch and release. Since 2015, violent crime is up 55%, gun crime up 130%, extortion up 330%, sexual assault up 76%, and homicide up 29%. This is not random. This is the direct, predictable, preventable result of Liberal Bill C-75 and C-5. C-75 codified the toxic principle of restraint, a directive that forces police and judges to release accused persons at the earliest possible moment on the least onerous conditions, no matter how dangerous they are. C-5 gutted mandatory minimums and handed out house arrest for serious sexual assault, robbery, firearms trafficking, and kidnapping. 4 long years, Conservatives have stood in this House and demanded one thing: jail, not bail. Repeal the principle of restraint, restore mandatory minimums, presume detention for repeat violent offenders. All the while, the members opposite blocked us, voted against us, and mocked us. And now, after heartbreaking murders and families having paid the ultimate price, they finally copy us with Bill C-14. They call this sweeping reform. Mr. Speaker, this is surgical PR, a patchwork of press releases and photo ops that nibble at the edges while the revolving door keeps spinning. Let's be crystal clear about what Bill C-14 does not do. It does not repeal the principle of restraint. It keeps the very words that created catch and release. It merely adds a redundant sentence saying restraint does not require release. That sentence is already in the criminal code, twice, in sections 498 and 501. This is not reform. This is press release footnotes. It expands reverse onus for some offenses: violent car theft, home invasion, choking assaults, and extortion. Good, but reverse onus is still just a procedural speed bump. The accused can still talk their way out. What Canadians need is a brick wall: presumptive detention for every serious violent offense and every repeat offender. It does add aggravating factors and a few consecutive sentences, but only in narrow combinations. Break and enter only counts if it's paired with gang-related auto theft, and only on the sentence offense. Extortion only runs consecutive to arson from the exact same event. Meanwhile, mass murderers like Alexandra Bissonnette still get to stack parole eligibility because this government won't touch the Supreme Court's rulings. It bans house arrest for major sexual assault under 2 years. That sounds tough until you remember they're the ones who made it possible in Bill C-5. They fix one hole that they punched in the boat, while robbery, firearms trafficking, kidnapping, and chronic violent offenders still get to serve their time in their living rooms. It does nothing to restore the mandatory minimums they repealed. Sentencing remains a judicial lottery, uneven, uncertain, and unsafe. It adds no new judges, no new courtrooms, no funding to clear the backlogs. We see 50% of charges in the Waterloo region dropped because the system is clogged. Let me repeat that. Waterloo Regional Police told us personally that 1 in 5 people on Liberal release orders are caught breaching their conditions. More than half of those breachers are repeat violent offenders caught multiple times on the same toothless conditions. And because of this Liberal backlog, half of the charges those officers lay never see a courtroom. 1 in 5 breachings, half the charges dropped. This is not justice. This is a subscription service for crime. Just last month in Richmond Hill, a 53-year-old predator allegedly groomed a child online, arranged a meeting at Lake Wilcox, and sexually assaulted them. Bill C-14 does nothing for that child. No reverse onus. House arrest still on the table if the sentence is under 2 years. That's Russian roulette with our children's lives.
Sad.
Mr. Speaker, Bill C-14 is a half measure dressed up as a victory. Canadians deserve the full Conservative plan, the real jail not bail plan we have been fighting for since day one. Here's what real reform looks like. Repeal the Liberal principle of restraint and replace it with public safety clause. Public and community safety is the governing principle in every bail decision. Presume detention, not just reverse the onus. For every major violent offense, firearms, sexual assault, kidnapping, human trafficking, home invasion, robbery, extortion with a firearm, arson, and every repeat violent offender. Restore mandatory minimums for those exact crimes, the ones Liberal repealed with Bill C-5. End house arrest for robbery, firearms offenses, trafficking, and chronic violent offenders. No more living room sentences. Mandate judges consider the full criminal record. Every conviction, every breach, every outstanding charge, and lower the risk of threshold from substantial likelihood to reasonably foreseeable. Bar anyone with an indictable conviction from acting as a surety. No more criminals vouching for criminals, and require non-residents to surrender their passports. Fund the courts, hire the judges, clear the backlogs so officers' work isn't wasted and victims see justice. This is what police chiefs from coast to coast are begging for. This is what victims' families are pleading for. This is what Savannah Cullah and Bailey Court deserved, but never got. We will move amendments to make Bill C-14 live up to its promises. We will fight to turn Liberal redundancy into Conservative reality. Right. But if this government refuses, if they cling to their failed ideology, then Bill C-14 will fail the only test that matters, keeping Canadians safe tonight, tomorrow, and every night after. Mr. Speaker, Canadians have had enough of Liberal clarifications and half measures. They want Conservative convictions. It's time. It's past time to jail, not bail, and keep our streets safe.
Hear, hear.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Questions.